Okay, I have 10 o'clock. I will call the Commissioners' meeting of December 6, 2023 to order. Welcome back, veteran Patrick Rambo, who's going to lead us in the pledge, and our longtime friend John Kleindatz to lead us in the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me in an attitude of prayer. Lord, we come to you today with thanks and praise for all of your blessings. To you be the glory. We ask you for wisdom and courage as we meet today in governance and strength for our leaders. We ask for your guidance for all of us. As we approach the joyous holiday season, help us to be joyful and give us strength. Let us each be as good a person as we can be. Let us each love everyone we can without prejudice. Let us each help everywhere we can. And let us each give as much as we can to those in need. All of these things we pray in your name.
Amen.
We'll move on to item number 2 on the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the November 29, 2023 Board of Commissioners meeting as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'll open it up for any public comment. Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda items for the Office of Children, Youth, and Families.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can't seem to scroll the pages. Okay. All right, on to new business.
I make a motion to approve an agreement between the County of York on behalf of the Office of Conflict Counsel and Thomas Reuters, Eagan, Minnesota, to provide a monthly legal research subscription for a total cost of $44,970.64 for the period of April 1st, 2024 through April 1st, 2027.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion to approve an agreement between the County of York on behalf of the Emergency Management Department and Bucks County Community College, Doylestown, Pennsylvania, to provide a maximum of 200 hours of on-site or online non-certification training courses held at the hosting organization's facility per calendar year for a total cost of $1,300 for the period of January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion to approve an easement agreement between the County of York and Gregory and Lisa Meath Grover in the amount of $5,300 for acquisition of a permanent and temporary construction easements needed for the replacement of York County Bridge 247, Grantham Road over the Yellow Breeches Creek in Monaghan Township.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion to approve an easement agreement between the County of York and Benjamin and Kristen Slayball in the amount of $8,503 for the acquisition of a permanent and temporary construction easements needed for the replacement of the York County Bridge 247, Grantham Road over Yellow Breeches Creek in Monaghan Township.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion to approve a reimbursement to Messiah University in the amount of $506 for the legal fees incurred for the acquisition of permanent and temporary construction easements needed for the replacement of York County Bridge 247, Grantham Road over the Yellow Breeches Creek in Monaghan Township.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion on behalf of the Community Development Department of the York County Planning Commission authorizing and directing the commissioners to execute the following amendments to the subsidiary agreements for for activities included in the adopted York County 2020 Annual Action Plan as amended for funding from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Washington, D.C., and there is listed in the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve the federal fiscal year 2023 Homeland Security Grant Agreement between the County of York on behalf of the Emergency Management Department and South Central Counterterrorism Task Force, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, as a participating county in the South Central Counterterrorism Task Force for the performance of period September 1st, 2023 through December 29th, 2026, for a total grant amount of $1,207,202.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to ratify Tax Refund Register 2023-27, authorizing payment of York County real estate tax refunds totaling $3,670.79.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Make a motion to approve a Tax Refund Register 2023-29, authorizing payment of York County real estate tax refunds totaling $7,653.52.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve the weekly disbursements for the week of December 6th, 2023, totaling $19,776,316.31.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
And just a comment that I think this was debt service payments for the year, and that's the reason for the big allocation this week.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. There were no executive sessions since our last meeting. We do have some other business today. We are joined by our Parks colleagues today. Thank you for coming. Commissioner Smith is going to read a proclamation in honor of 40 years of Christmas Magic.
Okay, celebrating the 40th anniversary of York County's Christmas Magic. Whereas 2023 marks the 40th edition of the York County Parks Christmas Magic Festival of Lights holiday program located at Rocky Ridge County Park. And Christmas Magic is a half-mile of walking trail featuring Christmas lights, holiday scenes, and 4 pavilions. And Christmas Magic began in 1984 when fewer homes were decorating with lights for Christmas due to the energy crunch. And starting with a small budget and many community donations, the first year featured 10,000 lights and several homemade holiday props. And today the trail has grown to approximately 1 million lights, including holiday scenes, animated fireworks, G-gauge model trains, and decorated trees. And over 1 million people have visited Christmas Magic since 1984. And the focus of the program is to celebrate the magical spirit of the holidays, which has become a tradition for many families throughout the years. Now, therefore, we, the Commissioners of York County, Pennsylvania, commend and congratulate the York County Department of Parks and Recreation on the success of Christmas Magic, a festival of lights, and celebrate the 40th anniversary of this popular holiday event. Given this day in York and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania on the 6th day of December in the year of our Lord 2023, and it's signed by the Board of Commissioners.
Did any of you want to make any comments?
Thank you, Commissioners, and my name is Teddy Fisher. I'm the Assistant Director for the Parks, we could not do this and do it for the last 40 years like we have without the support of the Commissioners back in 1984 and then continuing through to today. We are very excited to celebrate this 40th anniversary of Christmas Magic and bringing in over 1.1 million visitors since 1984. We certainly couldn't do it also without all of our park staff, each and every single one of them, from our maintenance crews, our group leaders, the park rangers, our administrative staff that are taking phone calls left and right. So it's a true team effort, and we certainly couldn't do it without all of them. Tickets are on sale. The show runs daily from now all the way through to after the holiday, all the way through to December 30th. We are closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but tickets are available. You can get them online at christmasmagicyork.com. Tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for youth, and then children under the age of 6 are free. Then we do have a few half-price nights as well. So, yeah, we really hope everyone comes out and celebrates with us. So, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ted.
Okay, open it up for any public comment.
Morning. Darla Byerly, Warrington Township. Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for your time yesterday on the Teams call to discuss the urban wireless build-out plan. After the call, I emailed you a copy of the ICBE-EMF study entitled Scientific Evidence Invalidates Health Assumptions Underlying the FCC and ICNIRP Exposure Limit Determinations for Radio Frequency Radiation, Implications for 5G. I'd like to read the abstract. In the late 1990s, the FCC and ICNIRP adopted radio frequency radiation, or RFR, exposure limits to protect the public and workers from the adverse effects of RFR. These limits were based on results from behavioral studies conducted in the 1980s involving 40 to 60-minute exposures in 5 monkeys and 8 rats, and then applying arbitrary safety factors to an apparent threshold-specific absorption rate, or SAR, of 4 watts per kilogram. The limits were also based on 2 major assumptions. Any biological effects were due to excessive tissue heating, and no effects would occur below the putative threshold SAR, as well as 12 assumptions that were not specified by either the FCC or ICNIRP. In this paper, we show how the past 25 years of extensive research on RFR demonstrates that the assumptions underlying the FCC's and ICNIRP's exposure limits are invalid and continue to present a public health harm. Adverse effects observed at exposures below the assumed threshold SAR include non-thermal induction of reactive oxygen species, DNA damage, cardiomyopathy, carcinogenicity, sperm damage, and neurological effects, including electromagnetic hypersensitivity. Also, multiple human studies have found statistically significant associations between RFR exposure and increased brain and thyroid cancer risk. Yet, in 2020, and in light of the body of evidence reviewed in this article, the FCC and ICNIRP reaffirmed the same limits that were established in the 1990s. Consequently, these exposure limits, which are based on false suppositions, do not adequately protect workers, children, hypersensitive individuals, and the general population from short-term or long-term RFR exposures. Thus, urgently needed are health protective exposure limits for human and the environment. These limits must be based on scientific evidence rather than on erroneous assumptions, especially given the increasing worldwide exposures of people and the environment to RFR, including novel forms of radiation from 5G telecommunications for which there are no adequate health effects studies. I thank you for the research you've done thus far, and I do hope that you review this study along with the 11,000 pages of evidence of scientific harm. Our ask is that you prioritize fiber optics to the premises for all York County, including urban areas, and pause all further development of wireless irradiating infrastructure until the FCC completes the 2021 U.S. Court of Appeals mandated work to substantiate that their 1990 guidelines are safe. It's not too late. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Hello, my name is Laura Basso from Fairview Township. Thank you for meeting with our team yesterday. I would like the recording to be made available for public review. I know it must be difficult hearing new information we are giving you that contradicts everything you previously thought was true. You must always be willing to consider evidence that contradicts your beliefs and admit the possibility that you may be wrong. Intelligence isn't knowing everything. It's the ability to challenge everything you know. Thank you for pausing your actions on the deployment of the Urban Wireless Build-Out Plan. Please keep that pause button on until you review all of our materials. I have dozens of peer-reviewed studies clearly proving harm. This includes the World Health Organization International Agency for Research on Cancer, which classified wireless radiation as a possible human carcinogen in 2011. Today, numerous scientists who served as advisors to this study state that evidence on cancer has increased and wireless radiation is a probable or proven carcinogen. The Nokia study you cited yesterday on our call was industry-funded and questionable for bias. There was a time when we thought smoking cigarettes was healthy. Doctors recommended their favorite brands to pregnant women. Today, the wireless industry is using the same playbook as big tobacco. I'm going to email each of you a copy of Captured Agency by Norm Alster, a Harvard Center for Ethics publication showing how the FCC is controlled by the industry it's supposed to be regulating, like the wolf watching the henhouse. Please review the materials we are presenting to you. The lives of thousands of children are at stake. You must do your due diligence and always err on the side of caution, especially when it comes to the safety of children. When you give a baby a bath, you test the water first. You're on the verge of pulling the trigger, placing irradiating base stations on many buildings where children live, play, and learn. Please test the water first. This is an opportunity for you to do your best for the people you serve. It will take courage to change course, but it's not too late.
You have 30 seconds.
Thank you for upholding your oath of office to the people of York and the Constitution. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Good morning, Sarah Thompson, Windsor Township. I'll be speaking about worldwide policy of 5G and cell towers. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because looking forward to where some of these the 5G repeaters will be placed on the different elementary schools as well as the YMCA and the Children's Home of York. So some of these I'll be highlighting is more towards those areas because that is where the focus is here in York County. So in the United States, resolutions to halt 5G passed in Hawaii County, Hawaii, Farragut, Tennessee, Keene, New Hampshire, and Easton, Connecticut. Numerous cities restrict cell antennas near homes, including Los Altos, Mill Valley, Malibu, and San Diego County, California, Bedford, New Hampshire, and more. New Hampshire 5G Commission's 15 recommendations include increasing transparency, reduce public exposure, and research health effects and protect the wildlife and the trees. Oregon investigating health effects of wireless. Los Angeles Public Schools, they put their limit at 10,000 times less than what the FCC is recommending. Palo Alto, Los Angeles, LA School, and Greenbelt, Maryland, Bar Harbor, Michigan, they're saying absolutely no cell towers at the school. Let's go a little bit further. So in Bangladesh, they're saying no cell towers on homes, schools, colleges, playing fields, populated areas, and heritage areas. In Chile, it's cell antennas prohibited in sensitive areas, including kindergartens, hospitals, and nursing homes. What do they know that we're ignoring? Lithuania, cell antennas prohibited on kindergartens and the hospitals. Australia, New South Wales Department of Education policy objects to towers on and near schools. Netherlands, Health Council recommends, Israel, cell tower setbacks 100 meters from schools and homes. In France, 60 mayors and officials petitioned to halt 5G. Federal health agencies investigate 5G. In Switzerland, Parliament refused to weaken restrictions on radio frequency radiation. In Europe, there's resolutions to halt 5G in numerous European cities. I have these handouts out for each of you. I would like to give for you guys to review. And thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Any other public comment? If I can have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned, and we'll move on to salary board.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the November 29, 2023 Salary Board meeting as submitted.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Open up for any public comment. Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 4.
I'll make a motion to approve the positions, salaries, hours of work, and fringe benefits as provided by existing collective bargaining agreements or as set forth in the York County Employee Handbook or York County Policy Manual for the following departments and row offices as stated below, with no additional benefits or concessions unless otherwise noted, and are as listed in the agenda.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. There were no executive sessions since our last meeting. I will open it up again for any public comment. If I can have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second?
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we're adjourned, and we have retirement board meeting today.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting held on November 29th, 2023.
A second motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. I'll open up for any public comment. Move on to new business.
I make a motion to include the following vested individuals on the monthly annuity payment list as listed below: Jacqueline Bringer, E911, Gary E. Gladfelder, Fleet Management, Amelia Hennies, Children and Youth.
I'll second motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Make a motion to include the following individuals on the monthly annuity payment list as listed below: Jeffrey A. Goldhammer, Prison; Theodore Consul, Prison; Jane Melhorn, Clerk of Courts; Stephen Wecker, Children and Youth; Karen Westover, E911; Joseph S. Winkowski, Jr., Sheriff.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. There were no executive sessions. I will open it up for public comment again. Hearing none, if I could have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, we are adjourned. Thanks,